Well, it's that time of year again where maybe we can talk about the Game of the Year situation that's going on. The Golden Joystick Awards have been awarded, and I got some stuff to talk about with this. Well, before I talk about this, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe, and just note this is my opinion on the matter. This doesn't mean that it's the vast majority of everyone out there, because I don't agree with a lot of what I'm seeing. Best storytelling goes to Baldur's Gate 3. That's fine. That's fine. I don't in doubt think that they had a poor storytelling. I haven't played the game. I'm not going to play the game because I don't like the idea of the game. It's not what the Baldur's Gate franchise was once in the past. It's what it is now. Besides that, still playing award, No Man's Sky. I 100% agree with that. No Man's Sky has seen a huge resurgence in the game, mostly because of Starfield and everyone turning their nose up to Starfield and saying, no, we're going to go play something else. Best visual design, Baldur's Gate 3. Visual design? Really? Really? I'm surprised by that. Not gonna lie. Studio of the Year, Larian Studios. This tells you right now where everything's going. It's going to be Baldur's Gate 3 Game of the Year once they go past this into the full details now. Best game expansion, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. We haven't quite gotten into the Phantom Liberty stuff, but what they did with the game expansion was actually fix a lot of the problems with the game for Cyberpunk 2077. I've been having a ton of fun on that, playing that every Friday and Saturday night lately. Best indie game, Sea of Stars, maybe something I check out. Best VR game, Horizon Call of the Mountain. Best multiplayer game, Mortal Kombat 1. Is there seriously nothing else that came out for a multiplayer game other than a 1v1 versus game called Mortal Kombat 1? Mortal Kombat 1 that came out on the Switch was so dreadful. You had to pay a subscription fee just to get the actual graphics you deserved on the Switch. That's a joke. No, Mortal Kombat 1 I don't think is deserving of any praise. They censored all the original outfits. They brought the game down. They released it on the Switch in a dreadful state. I don't see this being the best multiplayer game out there. There's probably many other games out there that could be multiplayer games. I haven't played many this year. Hell, WoW is probably even better than that right now, even for a multiplayer game. But they've been around for so many years. I don't think they can be considered a best of the year scenario. Best audio, Final Fantasy 16. I know a lot of people praised Final Fantasy 16. Square Enix took a hit. A lot of game journals did not like the idea of Final Fantasy 16 because they went back to their roots and they didn't do the updated version of what everyone wants with the modernization of the game. Best game trailer, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty. Best streaming game, Valorant, which is an older game now. I'm surprised that even comes up there as a new sort of title, but that's fine. Best game community, Baldur's Gate 3. The best game community? The Baldur's Gate 3 is a best game community. So, no, sure. Best gaming hardware, the PlayStation VR 2. So you have to have a PS5 to run the VR 2. Is that my understanding here? And they're saying that's the best gaming hardware? A piece of equipment that you can't put on every system is the best gaming hardware. That's very interesting to know. So I got to go out there and get a PS5 to get their second version of their VR. I don't know if I buy that. Breakthrough Award, Cocoon Geometric Interactive. Another game worthy to check out. Critics' Choice Award. This one is a lot better of a scenario. Alan Wake 2, which I've heard is very fantastic. A very scary, very in-depth sort of game. Best Lead Performer, Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16. Well, that puts Final Fantasy 16 up there where it should be. Best Supporting Performer, Neil Newborn and Astron for Baldur's Gate 3. Yep. Nintendo Game of the Year, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That one was considered for the ultimate Game of the Year. PC Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3. I've played many different games this year, and Baldur's Gate 3 was not one of them. Xbox Game of the Year, Starfield. It goes to show you Xbox doesn't have much out there going. They have Starfield. Their next best was maybe Redfall and Forspoken, which both bombed because they couldn't even get it to run properly. Wasn't there the Jedi Survivor also that came out? Something I'm not seeing on this list is Spider-Man 2, by the way. PlayStation Game of the Year, Resident Evil 4, which is a remake. Most Wanted Game, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second installment of the Final Fantasy VII remake, right? Everyone wants a Final Fantasy VII upgraded graphics to be a new game. That's what they want for the game of the Most Wanted Game. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy VII should have never been split up like this. Ultimately, they should have just left it be. Final Fantasy 16 probably was where they were better rounded to do that, but then they take a hit and they have game journals getting upset over it. So where's Final Fantasy 7 going to lie in these sense of things? And an Ultimate Game of the Year was Baldur's Gate 3. I find this, I've seen a lot of people talk about Baldur's Gate 3. I see a lot saying that the game is deserving of a Game of the Year title, all this stuff, but I sit there and I say, is that really the route we're going now? If you are having a game in early access for up to 3 years prior to the game releasing, and then you sit there and you change up the whole thing and you make it a romance simulator, because that's what it came down. They have speed runs to have sex in Baldur's Gate 3. This is what the game comes down to as an Ultimate Game of the Year now, is stuff to do with romance, sex, and something that's been sitting in a early access state for over 3 years that a lot of people happen to own back at that time. They base it on when the game comes out for the full release. So it's a very interesting tale in that sense. You look at Star Citizen, which has been in Kickstarter for a very long time. It hasn't come out as a release for a game at all like that. But this gives you an idea where titles may go. And I know a lot of people don't like the early access titles, because then it creates this nuance of a game that's always getting funneled money and always being worked on, and something's always changing in it. And it doesn't come out as a full release, and then when they come out as a full release, in some cases, you have to repurchase the game from the early access days, making a financial and unstable situation for these games. It's going to be a very bad thing in the future with Baldur's Gate 3 winning Ultimate Game of the Year under the Golden Joystick Awards. This gives you an idea where it's going to be, where they're going to put Baldur's Gate 3 at the top of the list for everything, saying it's going to be the one. But this is going to reshape the way games are made, the way games are done, and it's not a good thing in the long run, because Baldur's Gate 3, they put everything in there where they wanted to have more sex with the game, romance. It was written and helped. They had actors and actresses that were from soap operas. Is that really what makes a video game now? You're taking Days of Our Lives and putting it onto your PC and playing it as a simulator. I don't see this as a positive thing in the future. Sure, the game probably is quite good. The game is probably quite good for the other aspects of the game, but the stuff that was on the forefront, what I saw, the marketing material from Baldur's Gate 3, they had trailers where over 30 seconds of the trailer was romancing people in the game. I don't see that as a Game of the Year title. I see that as something that's going to reshape the genre of video games, and not in a good way. Anyway, this is my opinion. This is an opinion, not the official word of the land. I'm your proud Canadian Phoenix Cinder Shadow. I'm signing off here. Don't forget to like and subscribe.